Hey, my name's Yusuf. This is like my YouTube channel. I just wanted to upload on here, kind of, see the world, see the perspective, kind of open my space to everybody. I'm a political science major. My senior year. Just wanted to open up the space. It's gonna be like a channel to talk about, you know, political drama from the White House, from like the streamer sphere, all that sphere. Um, I kind of opened up this channel to kind of make sure like my voice is out there, I haven't done any much internships or stuff like that, so it's kind of like why not just try a YouTube channel, Not for anything serious, just to get thoughts out there rather than having it on my head and all the time. So, um I think this title of this video is probably going to be talking about uh you know, Trump, all the like insanity that's going on there, all the stuff. I think the first thing to talk about, I guess overall, is I think I want to do kind of a like rebuttal to the right wing, and also some like I think some critiques as like I'm not as much of a progressive. I'm like a center left, so it's whatever. But um, first of all, I think the media sphere from the right has been like totally compromised. Like the right has uniform, like the president Trump, literally he goes to Fox News and he can uniformly order the right wing, and it's cohesive, and that's how they've been dominating online with that. Um, and I think that it's kind of a lot to do with how the policy's kind of gone through. Um, the left is kind of in ruins. I feel like, or not, definitely not as sync. There's progressive voices. There's left. So there's like, and there's extreme left voices, which I would include Hassan in. I'm not a fan of Hassan just because he is very left wing in my opinion, too left wing that he's basically used by the right wingers as Hassan is like the like counterpoint of everybody in the Democratic Party, like, so it's kind of insane. Um and I just, yeah, no, Hassan is not the greatest thing. um I mean, I'm not like part of any streamer community or anything. I'm just trying to talk, trying to get. I've seen all these videos of like the left on the internet kind of being divided, kind of being like, oof. Um, yeah, and it's kind of let the right wing establishment kind of completely take over institutions and like things like that. Like especially with the X, like Elon Musk buying X, being like shoot, being like shoot, um, um, and doing that right. But it's it is that, what is that, like it does affect how people to watch the internet and watch the news, because he controls all those like algorithms or whatever. I'm not tech genius. I don't know what they're cooking in there. I'm just a poli sci major that's kind of trying to open up my thoughts. There's a lot of people that I see on the internet, just like um completely like be like, oh, everybody's extreme, everybody's on the like thing, and I see that, like, I even my own family or like something like that, like it's just, you know um there's a differing view of like how they support different people, like with like things like that, like, so it's hmm but yeah, no, I mean, I think first of all, think about institutions and like how I think the apparatus of the left needs to be improved. Is there needs to be some kind of uniformity, and there needs to be some kind of accountability of how the left uniformly acts, so they can better their messaging on different issues like abortion, like uh healthcare, things like that, that they can uniform. Like the right, as much as I think they're deplorable, they're idiots in their view. Um, like they have a very strong network, so it's the left needs to do something like that. Um, and it needs to be as strong as it can, to counteract that. I do think that we need to do something like that. like the executive, I guess there's a lot of people that throw in the world like that don't know what is this like happening in America right now. And I think that the best way I can describe it is that executive like overreach is not like that's just like the that's just the sorry, I'm missing my words, but that's just like the surface. The deeper you go deeper, and like you can see all these executive like expansion, basically making it that the executive branch is one entity, um, and that's what exactly what the Trump administration is producing. They're trying to do that, and it's crazy. It's crazy. Um, I guess from where I'm at, like I people like especially on on the right have all these things of like, oh, cut snap, cut all that, cut everything. Um, but they don't really realize that like all these families that are getting, especially with the big beautiful bill, like basically getting left for dry and with these like work requirements and things like that. Like it's a mess. It's a mess. It's a like mess. So like um I don't know. I'm trying to see like how do we build up America from this? How do we come back? Like America has this America ex, American like exceptionalism, where you kind of have to like be like, oh, we are America, we can do anything we want in this world, right? But I don't think so. That's true. I mean, at one point do we say like we have to figure our internal things? Like I think we need to have institutional change to all these problems of like messaging and things like that. Like I would sometimes I feel like we should unifying the left is much harder than a lot of people have said, even with like progressive ground game and things like that, where I've seen like other progressive like I guess um, institutions trying to connect each other, like trying to be like, oh, can we get the Hassan crowd? I don't believe that's possible. I think there's some left communities where it's just like I've heard like the arguments from Destiny, arguments from Pisco about all this stuff like court packing, things like that. I've watched a few days ago. I was watching a court packing video by Pisco um, debate, and there was a lot of the things of like, are we gonna if we're gonna be like them, then what's the point? Like, um, but I think that in order to balance like um especially like institutions, I think we should start with the institutions that Republicans have already gained institutional advantage on, like the Supreme Court, which um, in before Obama's term was over in 2016, um, McConnell completely just said nope, no hearings, no nothing. That was like and robbed us of a Supreme Court uh, of Gary Mallon of a Supreme Court pick, and then the right wing is just saying like nope, we're gonna add three more, and then now it's a court that made Trump versus the United States, which is a horrible decision, like a horrible decision for our democracy, horrible decision um for our nation regarding executive like immunity and things like that, basically inventing executive immunity from history. Um, I disagree with the majority opinion on that. Roberts, I don't know what he was like on or something that he did that, but that's it's not originalism. It's bad. It's just made up to benefit future presidents, and now even the worst president, in my opinion, a convicted felon, president. The right wing really does like to do that, and it's crazy. Um, like I've seen all these creators trying to be like on the right wing, being like, no, it's a wokeism, it's wokeism, it's wokeism that's doing all this. It's like you're trying to ruin America, but not like, but your pride fool like blinds you to all these things that are happening, like having a UFC fight on the White House lawn. Like I think that is crazy. But I think the major thing I wanted to talk about was just how the institutions of the left are not nearly as developed as the right, both in like government institutions and media institutions. Media institutions are not uniform. Um, Depending on where you go on the left, you can get like very progressive, and then on the right, and then you can get like basically mainstream Democrat that are that are presidential candidates, and then um like like supporting them, so the like I guess the establishment. um I kind of put myself, I don't know, in the middle. I think sometimes I think about progressive policies and I think of like, okay, is it uh, can we do it? Have other countries done it, and can we implement it in our system with our weaknesses, with our things? I think I'm in favor of court packing if it's done in a more like, I think I was reading Pisco's tweets, but I think that I found the argument kind of convincing, but I also think that like it is a slippery slope. I was watching the debate. It was slippery slope. It's slippery slope. If we had more than one or two or three, but I do understand the defensive, like a fashion argument. Like I would be in support at least one justice or two to crack the Supreme Court, so some decisions like Trump versus the United States don't happen, where they just make up constitutional law from like basically anywhere. Like for example, I was in a class about American politics at the time when the decision came out, and our college teacher at the time, did not know how to answer us, or did not. We went through different slides, as college professors do, of historical takes of immunity, and we could not find one thing that supports that decision. That decision was just made out of thin air. So it's just like, how can you do that, like, but Supreme Court did that. So it's the Democrats have to focus, I think, in my opinion, my humble opinion. I'm just a dude on the internet, but um in my humble opinion, we need support, like uniting, or like making our media institution more like uniform. That like at the end of the day, they will all vote blue, or vote like with the establishment or whatever, without like promoting and being Big Tent, but at the same time not promoting like overtly like anti-American propaganda. Like, so it's just, I don't know, but yeah. And that's it for this week, and I will guess see you next week.